Today, the aesthetic we call modern feels like it emerged spontaneously. Yet, straight lines, simple spaces, and unadorned objects are no accident.
This look is the result of a radical idea that emerged in Germany years ago. And this idea fundamentally changed how the modern world would look. The story begins in Weimar in 1919. It is called Bauhaus. On April 1, 1919, the architect Walter Gropius established a new school by merging the two long-standing institutions in Weimar, the Grand Ducal Saxon Academy of Arts and the School of Arts and Crafts, Staatliches Bauhaus in Weimar.
Gropius's proclamation, Bauhaus Manifesto and announcement clearly set out the school's vision to unite art and craft, that is, fine arts and applied arts, into a single domain of production, placing architecture at the center of this union.
This movement was not merely an aesthetic innovation. It was a social and economic claim. Design would play a central role in the reconstruction of society. Gropius's question was simple yet challenging. Why should art be separate from life? According to him, art should connect with industry and daily life, leaving the rooms of the elite to permeate every layer of society. Therefore, the Bauhaus aimed to produce methods rather than style. Application-ready designs created through interdisciplinary workshops and production processes.
In its initial years, Bauhaus education was radical. Masters like Johannes Itten developed a preliminary course, Vorkurs, for students. This course offered a blend of fundamental form, color, material knowledge, and experimental work with personal expression.
Students began working in the workshops from the very first moment. They made direct contact with various materials and techniques, from painting to textiles, pottery to the metal workshop. This practical research approach formed the basis of the school's learning by doing model.
The participation of abstract art pioneers like Paul Klee and Wassily Kandinsky during the same period strengthened the school's theoretical and artistic depth. However, these figures were not merely painters who gave painting lessons in Weimar. They worked with students on how color theory, perception, and abstraction could be linked to practical design processes.
Due to political tensions and local opposition, the Bauhaus moved from Weimar to the city of Dessau in 1925. The Dessau period is when the school established a more intense relationship with industry, and design oriented towards mass production came to the fore.
In 1926, the Bauhaus building designed by Gropius was opened. It physically embodied the school's principles with its large glass facades, open workshop layout, and architecture resembling factory logic. This building and the surrounding masters' houses are among the most visible examples of the Bauhaus design aesthetic.
In Dessau, the Bauhaus began designing objects suitable for production by machines. Tubular steel furniture, for example, the work of Marcel Breuer, functional lighting, and house and office equipment suitable for mass production. The partnerships the school established with industry during this period accelerated the spread of the concept of modern industrial design. Gropius resigned as director in 1928. He was succeeded by Hannes Meyer, 1928 to 1930. Meyer's approach was more political and functionalist. He emphasized the social benefit of design and focused on social housing projects.
Meyer's school policies were controversial in some circles. He resigned in 1930, and Ludwig Mies van der Rohe took over the school, 1930 to 1933. Mies brought a more minimalist and structure-focused aesthetic. During his tenure, the school concentrated on architectural projects and material research. What took the Bauhaus beyond being a school were the individuals it contained. Walter Gropius, founder, architect of the pedagogical vision. Johannes Itten,
established the early Vorkurs, emphasized spiritual and formal education. Laszlo Moholy-Nagy brought technological modernity to the school through photography, typography, and industrial proposals, later founded the new Bauhaus in Chicago. Marcel Breuer developed the language of industrial furniture suitable for production with tubular steel furniture. Paul Klee, Vasily Kandinsky provided the theoretical foundation and pedagogical contributions of abstract art. Gunther Stölzl managed the weaving workshop, creating a laboratory in textiles. Bauhaus textiles are notable.
Every workshop, metal, ceramic, textile, print typography, theater, architecture, functioned as an experimental laboratory in itself. Practices were opened up to both art and industry. This diversity strengthened the Bauhaus's capacity to produce both objects and theory.
In the 1930s, the political climate in Germany was radicalizing. The Nazi movement accused modernist art and intellectual institutions of being degenerate and of cultural alienation. The Bauhaus became a target due to its cosmopolitan and progressive nature.
In 1932, the local administration in Dessau pressured the Bauhaus. Mies van der Rohe managed to move the school to Berlin, but under the pressure of the National Socialist regime, the school was closed in 1933. The closure marked the end of the physical institution of the Bauhaus, but it was the beginning of the dissemination of its ideas. It is also one of history's bitter ironies. Some Bauhaus graduates and instructors remained in Germany and associated with the Nazi regime in various ways. This adds complex ethical and political questions to the movement's history. This issue is currently being discussed in depth by historians and examined in detail through various sources. When the school closed, many teachers and students emigrated abroad. This diaspora became the main engine for the global spread of Bauhaus ideas.
Walter Gropius became chairman of the architecture department at Harvard University in 1937. There, he tried to integrate the Bauhaus philosophy into the curriculum. Laszlo Moholy-Nagy founded the new Bauhaus in Chicago and later the origins of the Institute of Design at IIT. Thus, Bauhaus pedagogy and design understanding became institutionalized in the U.S. Mies van der Rohe emigrated to the U.S., becoming influential in Chicago and American modern architecture in general. Joseph Albers taught at Black Mountain College and later Yale, bringing modernist pedagogy to the U.S. Furthermore, city-scale examples like the White City in Tel Aviv form internationally recognized examples of Bauhaus architecture. Some cities became centers with a high density of Bauhaus buildings. This global distribution ensured that the Bauhaus would survive beyond a certain geographical boundary.
The impact of the Bauhaus went beyond theory and settled into concrete objects, production processes, and pedagogical models. Furniture and industrial product design, tubular steel furniture, modular furniture solutions, and a design philosophy suitable for mass production. Architecture, the honest use of glass, steel, and concrete. Open plans, the building as machine metaphor. Graphic and typography, sans serif typefaces, clear hierarchy, and functional typographic arrangements, the foundations of modern advertising, books, and corporate identity. Education model, Vorkurs, and workshop-based interdisciplinary learning. Later institutions like the Ulm School of Design, HFG Ulm, were heirs to this pedagogy.
In today's design world, the influences of the Bauhaus can be directly read in examples like IKEA, Apple's simple aesthetic, and modern UI/UX approaches. The Bauhaus applied the principle of function before appearance to both objects and systems. It is common to praise the influence of the Bauhaus, but critical readings are also necessary. The value of the Bauhaus is not limited solely to certain iconic objects, thousands of buildings, or famous names.
The real importance is that it changed the way design is conceived. Design transitioned from an aesthetic luxury to a practice considered on a societal scale and linked to production processes. This transformation continues to influence our modern cities, household goods, work environments, and even our digital interfaces.